looking for a home to buy. You got some options, but the money's tight. I know it's tough, but have you heard about Tanya? Expert on your side. They call her mortgage expert on your side. She sets the mortgage banker bar real high. Have you heard about Tanya?
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Hey, I got this report on Daniel's property here.
Awesome.
So I want to get it to you. It's pretty thick, but everything looked to be in line.
Okay.
So everything was in good shape on there. So if you want to take that, you can get that to Carrie, and then she can start moving forward on getting all of the values and stuff wrapped up. But I checked everything out. The title looked good. He's done what he's supposed to do, and everything appears to be in line.
No crazy liens or anything like that?
No, taxes are paid. Everything looked good. So I think we're off to a good start getting this house sold.
Okay, great. So this is the famous home property evaluation report.
This is it, all in its glory in itself, and like I said, it's got a bunch of great information in there, and it tells us when he bought it, how much he's borrowed on it, and the comparable information that's on there. So, yep, everything looks good.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Let me know if I can help.
Okay, thanks. All right, so we've got our real estate report here, and this is actually our home property evaluation report that we actually give away on the radio show that is provided by Chris, the president of Trustland Title, who just gave me the report for our sold 90 days or less on my son's home. So I kind of want to just look through this real quickly, and because I know I've got to meet Carrie later on, and I'm sure she's had a chance to review this report, and I kind of want to get an idea of what I think the sales price should be versus what she's going to recommend the sales price to be. So as studying and knowing the area, since my son has lived there for the past 3 years, looking through the report, it does tell you about very specific things with your neighborhood. It's got your maps, your comparables. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about what all is in this report and why it's so important to help get your home sold 90 days or less, and the reason we always offer this on our radio shows to our listeners as well. But basically it does tell you, like Chris was saying, the sales history, the mortgage details, the taxes being paid, but it also goes very into schools. It talks about basically how many students are enrolled in each particular school. It talks a little bit about the enrollment periods, what grades, tells you the distance of how far these schools are. And really, honestly, what that tells us, and even colleges and universities, this kind of tells us what businesses, what parents, what type of demographics are close by that could be interested in living at a very commutable distance to their work. So it gives us a lot of information about how many schools are actually less than 1 mile to 2 miles from this residence, which makes it a great way to market to some of the professionals and educators in those schools and the colleges and universities as well. The other it tells us is local businesses that are less than 1 mile. Again, that's another way that we use this report to help us identify where we can potentially market to get our buyers and to help get this home sold 90 days or less. So it's going to go through all of the different businesses, and it goes from arts to banking to childcare to restaurants, shopping, social services, and then it goes deeper into the neighborhoods. So it actually tells you your neighbor's name, tells you their sales prices, their property taxes, the square footage, and a little bit about their home also. So I actually get to sit here and see, based upon our neighborhood, what is going on. Demographically, it breaks down the population, the age group. In this particular neighborhood, the growth in the last 5 years, population by age, is 25 to 64-year-olds, and that's at a 70%. So 70% of people in this household area neighborhood are 25 to 64 years old. The household size, as far as when it comes to average household income for this area, is $73,661. So again, I'm able to see a little bit about how much is needed to make in this, as far as income is needed to be made, the type of age group to market to demographically. And then also it talks about mortgage payments, and so it tells you the average mortgage payment. 38% of people in this neighborhood pay above $2,000 a month for their mortgage. So again, it helps us strategically be able to know how to market to buyers. Education, it talks about 40% attended some college, but 54% in this neighborhood are actually college graduates. So again, you've got your professionals. This house happens to be a couple of miles from some great universities. So this should give Carrie a lot of valuable information of who she should be marketing to and where to strategically market to help get this home sold in 90 days or less. And you guys know I want it sold sooner than that. So the other thing it talks about is your warranty deed, your deed of trust. It's got all of those documents that you can review. And then it tells, let me back up just a little bit here because we do have the warranty deed, deed of trust. I'm very familiar with that paperwork. But for a seller that does not know this information, it does help them see what their commitments and deed of trust basically has on there as far as the terms, is there prepayment penalties and things like that on their note. The thing that I noticed when I was looking through here, obviously, you know, I know in today's market, real estate market, we all want top dollar for our home. But also I have to be open to the fact and trust Carrie's expertise when it comes to looking at the comparables and her research also. And I'm curious to see what she's going to say from a value standpoint.
Today I'm really going over, I'm trying to set the pricing for the property at 133 43rd Avenue North, and Chris Corvo has done an excellent job. We talk on the radio all the time about his real estate reports, but as a realtor trying to set the pricing and get this done it's unbelievable. It's such a help because I've got this huge report right here, and how I look at Chris's report, but I also pull off of our RealTracs, I pull the subdivision information as well, and I compare the two. And really, it's amazing how they do gel and mesh, and I can really see the low sales price as well as the average and the high. So with this property today, trying to see what would be the best price, because again, we want to sell it 90 days or less, but I also want to get Tanya's family the maximum amount of dollars possible. So it's showing the high-end list price according to Chris's report as $475,000. Now, when I look at what has sold in the neighborhood, we look at the square footage compared to other things. So this property, that the subject property we're discussing, is 2,560, around there. So if we base that, we do have sales in the neighborhood justifying that, from even 440,000. Here's one for 451, 420,000. So all around there. Then it goes back to what that house has and what it has to offer, which we've seen once we stage it, I do believe that we could get around 450. So I think that's where we would start at a list price. But again, I do want to speak with both owners, I know, and see what they think and if we're on the same page. But I always go into that listing appointment with facts, and then we look at where they're coming from, but the numbers never lie. And again, when we go to pricing, it's such a target price point where if you think of a bullseye, you know, you're close when you're looking at it, but if we get right there in the center part, that's what makes it sell the quickest, and that's what we want, 90 days or less.